Gosh, mouth breathers, we're on the radio.
We're on the radio.
Welcome, my friends. Thank you, guys.
Of course.
Appreciate you coming on.
Appreciate it.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. Do you want to go through real quick and do solo introductions?
Sure.
Okay, sweet.
I'll start since I was talking first. My name's Jaden. Sometimes people know me as Muscle Man. I make noises with a mask on while I beat on drums.
I'm Ethan. I play guitar and scream.
Very nice. I'm Maya. People know me by Ratty a lot. I play bass and I also scream sometimes.
Where did the names Muscle Man and Ratty come from?
Ratty's been Ratty for a minute.
A long time.
Why?
I don't even know.
It just started?
It just, like, for the longest time, I'm pretty sure it was like a screen name before it was anything else. People just called me that online. But for the longest time, like when I was a kid, my screen name was Ratman instead of Batman. And then it just got shortened to Ratty.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I like that. It's kind of interesting how like screen names will like eventually translate to that. Like when I was a kid, my Minecraft name was, the first one I had was Mordo and Riggs, and Mordo and Riggs stood for Mordecai and Rigby.
Yeah.
Because like I loved regular show, and then like that turned into Mordon. But it was like my email to this day it's still like my full name at gmail.com, but then it's like the name that pops up is Mordo and Riggs, and I can't change it. Like there's
so
no
funny.
way to change it. So I'll be sending like business emails, and like Mordo and Riggs pops up.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Speaking of regular show, that is actually why my nickname is Muscle Man, because last year I grew my hair out, and like I've always had like a mildly built frame, I guess, but then
Mildly built frame.
I kind of looked like, I did look like Muscle Man, but I also have an oddly accurate Muscle Man impression.
Yeah.
Could I maybe hear it?
Pretty good. It's about to be loud, though.
Hold on, let me
Ready up.
At 11 in the morning.
11 in the morning.
11 in the morning, Muscle Man impression's already flying.
Dante, look over there, bro. Don't you understand why I have such good looks? It's because I'm dating only the greatest woman of all time. I love her so much. What the fuck? Her name is Starla. She's the love of my life.
Oh, I wasn't prepared for the squeal.
Yeah. It's pretty good, though, right?
Yeah, so pretty spot on, I'd say. Like I've been told it's pretty spot on. So because
it's not at all.
Fair enough.
Jesus, Muscle Man's character arc is so good, and I feel like we don't talk about how dynamic of a character Muscle Man is enough.
I honestly think regular show as a whole has just been overshadowed completely by Adventure Time.
Oh, I agree, 100%. Yeah,
Because I mean, it was the uglier, less vibrant little brother show that aired at the same time, and a little bit more stoner humor, and some of that kind of flew over a lot of people's heads. But yeah, great show, wonderful character development.
I do totally get it, because like I can't uncouple them in my head.
Yeah.
Like in my head, it's always like Adventure Time and regular show.
Yeah.
We grew up at the same time, and it's like they very much more that same time period. Like I don't know what it's like that, because I kind of think of Cartoon Network in like tiers. Also, did you hear that it's gone now?
Yeah.
Isn't Cartoon Network like shutting down?
They're like vastly overhauling the way that they like do their stuff, but for like the Cartoon Network as we understand it is basically gone. Yeah.
Is it all just going mostly to like HBO Max or something?
I have no idea. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Is it?
I'm not in tune with it that much, but I just know that they're kind of like doing this gigantic overhaul that basically renders them like no longer what they were.
Oh, that's really sad.
Yeah, it is.
That's so like, I don't know. That's such like a big part of my child. How old are you guys?
I'm the oldest at 23.
23. Oh. How old are you?
22.
21.
Oh, okay. So I'm 21. So we all grew up with the same cartoons.
Yeah.
What was like? Because for me, it was Adventure Time, and the regular show. As much as I loved it, it was a little bit of an afterthought. But it was like, it's still super good. But it's like Adventure Time for me was like the show growing up. Like I felt I wanted to be Finn. Like there was something about him. Just like, I don't know. He seemed like a hero in a really, really cool way. And I feel like as a kid it was like, he was a cool character to like idolize. Like, what was your guys' favorite cartoon when you were growing up?
Oh, I like the weird ones.
Really?
It was like Flapjack.
Oh, I love Flapjack. Yes.
Courage.
Courage for sure. Like Invader
dude.
Zim.
Yes.
Zim managed to evade me because I wasn't on Nickelodeon that much.
Yeah.
I was hanging out on Cartoon Network a lot more than it was Nickelodeon. But
Yeah, that was a weird one though.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Courage the Cowardly Dog had like very interesting like actual stories, and it was really
Yeah.
scary.
Yeah.
I love
Like,
that
it was
show.
scary looking back at it.
It was the like, you know, like it was that Courage and Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy were like the representatives of what, you know, introducing kids to what would end up being a love for like horror.
Yeah.
And like
Which is my whole thing.
yeah, and then it was really cool that like they actually bothered giving kids a little taste, because like
100%.
looking back, like I do vividly remember being a kid and having like nightmares about stuff that would happen in those shows, but I'd still go back and watch them because it's just like inescapably good entertainment stuff.
I feel like Billy and Mandy gets overshadowed.
It does.
Yeah,
It's
it was a good show.
sleeper show for sure. Because I mean, that whole era of Cartoon Network that was like maybe 2002-ish onwards to about 2007 is like fucking incredible.
Yeah, dude.
But like we are starting to, as we get a little older and older, like there's these kids who grew up straight up without it, and like you make a reference and I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
There's a very clear like point in my head where it crossed over to not being like our generation anymore.
Yes.
Like I think it was like when Uncle Grandpa came
Yeah.
out. And like
Grandpa was
like
weird.
I fucked with Uncle Grandpa though for a little bit.
I was anti Uncle Grandpa. I
So
gotta
was
say.
I thought it was funny.
What do you think of The Amazing World of Gumball?
Good.
I feel like that was one of the last like better shows
Yeah,
for sure.
it was.
Gumball, yeah. I can
It
sit
came
through
back,
Gumball
too.
right now.
Is it?
I don't know if it's still on, but it came back for like a last season, I think.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I always liked that show. I feel like that was like, I don't know, like that was on the tail end of like when I was probably watching Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember Mad when they did the?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I used to watch like old reruns of Mad TV, and I would read the
Oh, that's
magazines
cool.
like when I was younger. And
Yeah.
so when it came on Cartoon Network, I was like, oh, this is sick.
I really want to look more into like the actual old like Mad stuff, because I feel like the concept is like probably an influence on a lot of the stuff that I love, but like
It's
don't
so
know
good.
about.
You know Bob Odenkirk?
Uh-huh.
He was on old Mad TV.
That's great. How? Where did it run? Like,
I'm pretty sure I just was watching the reruns on like TBS or
okay,
something.
yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, that's so cool, dude. Old cartoons are so wild, but I think you're right. Like Billy and Mandy and like Courage the Cowardly Dog, like I think they did influence a lot of people towards like a love of horror. It's kind of cool. Like, are you guys like really, really deep into like that horror pocket? Because I would imagine.
They are the most.
Yeah.
Mine
Yeah.
is definitely the most.
I love terrible horror movies
Yeah.
so much. Like really bad B-movie, slasher, campy stuff. I love it.
What's like your favorite? Like, is it a bad one or is it a good one?
I mean, it's like bad good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Something kind of normy, like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. or something.
yeah.
I love Killer Clown.
It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
I've never seen it. What's it about? Killer Clowns from Outer Space?
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, that sounds sick. I would imagine that like there's a lot of people in your guys' genre world that are like influenced by like the horror stuff. 'Cause, I mean, like you guys wearing the mask and everything. It's like there definitely is like a clear crossover there. I feel like.
I think for us, I feel like we express it the most. There are definitely like people adjacent in our scene who have bits and pieces of, you know, B movie, C movie, D movie,
Yeah.
horror, like in their blood. But like for the most part, I actually think a lot of the people who are playing around or following a bit of a more, I'm not going to call it normal aesthetic, but I suppose just like a, you know, street punk. Leather,
Yeah.
drabby clothes,
Like more of a traditional
punk
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Whereas like, you know, my mask in its current iteration is an old bootleg Cramps T-shirt of like a dude
Cool.
who fell in a vat of acid, and so like my face is his like peeled body, and like
Whoa.
on my mouth is his face. It's completely gone. Like. And then I'm like yelling and screaming.
Yeah.
And my eyes are
Did you
rolling
make
in my
it?
head. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
I rip up old T-shirts.
That's so sick.
We have another one lined up right now that Maya's gonna help me with. It's like a. Do you know the band Gel?
No.
Okay, they're a hardcore band from New Jersey, and the design of it is like this pin-up lady in like a suit of armor, holding a ball and chain,
Wow.
sitting on top of a skull, like a big skull, like an actual face-sized skull. And
Yeah.
so we're gonna just chop it up. Hopefully make it so the skull is over my face like, as it sits, but then like I don't know.
Do something with the
the
girl with the
lady.
ball and chain. Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it
I
out.
haven't planned it yet.
Yeah.
It's like the paper mache equivalent of horror.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah.
That's so cool.
We have fun.
Yeah.
It does seem like with a lot of hardcore bands, a lot of punk bands, like the aesthetics are a gigantic part of like what makes it that.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because like I think when you get into that world where it's like you're playing like hardcore punk, thrash, whatever, and kind of that in that genre scape, it's like the crossovers aren't that big. They're very common.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I feel like the defining words for them get kind of unnecessary. But it's like I think what really sets bands apart is like the way that they're expressing themselves aesthetically.
Yeah. There's a lot of there's like a lot of like hard line traditional aesthetics according to genre. You know, like we know we have friends in this band called Sporadics, and a lot. You know, they are 80s thrash rockers. They
Interesting.
Skinny pants, mid top sneakers. Tight like 3/4 cut
The tightest
tees.
clothes you've ever seen.
Yeah, and then, like,
It's incredible.
and like trucker hats, and
Yeah.
like
Cool.
they like that is they live in another era. And then
Yeah.
we also have like we know a ton of other bands who they play hardcore punk that like to some people they're gonna be like this sucks, but like they're wearing tons of chains, leather, spikes, dyed hair, mohawks. Like it's, like there's other people who stick to that kind of thing. Where I feel like for us, we sit in this really weird pocket where we're pulling from a lot of different shit, and like not only musically but also like aesthetically, we just look like a Frankenstein crew of people who kind of just found each other. Because like I'm sitting on the drum kit with like Daisy Dukes. Half the shows we played on this tour, I played with no shirt. I'm wearing a mask that like no one really knows what's going on it,
Yeah.
and like a cord coming out of my face. Maya's wearing leather,
I just look like this every day.
and then Ethan looks like Tom DeLonge.
I don't look like I should be in this band.
And then, but
that's the cool part. I think that's what's so sick about it.
That's
Yeah.
exactly it. That's exactly what I was gonna get at. It's like we found a Frankenstein's crew to put together like this music that we play, and I wouldn't have it any other way.
And I do think that's one of the cool things about like bands not all pulling from the exact same aesthetic, member-wise, Because I think it's cool when each person has their own identifiable traits and aesthetics, and like there are things that like set each other apart. I think that's like the coolest shit ever. Because like there are tons of bands I can think of where it's like the members don't look like they would go together, but they do.
Yeah.
And I think it's also important to like when you're thinking about aesthetics, it's like there's not really a world where like. At least, I mean, there is a world where this would happen, but like I feel like bands aren't going to have the exact same influences ever.
Yeah.
So I think it's really cool, and each individual member like wears those things on their sleeve.
And that's like where we all kind of like have our interesting quirks and bits to ourselves, or where we've added things that we all like to the pool, and we're like, all right, well, here's what we like as individuals. Here's what we like as crossovers. What do we do to our own sound to make it our own? And so like the whole mask thing, I've explained this before, but like
Please again, I'm very interested. Yeah.
I get the whole like wearing a mask thing and doing crazy weird shit with my vocals from this band called Lightning Bolt. They're a noise rock band from Providence, Rhode Island, and their drummer Brian Chippendale he does the same exact thing. I basically stole his whole getup, like, honestly. Like he has this reverse engineered microphone made of telephone parts plugged into ridiculous amounts of pedals, and he makes the most ridiculous noises you've ever heard while being like an insane drummer, because he did like free jazz.
Yeah.
Which is really weird.
That's where I'm a drummer too. I feel like all the drummers that I'm like, oh my god, how do you do? They all come from jazz.
Yeah, that's like so he's got like jazz chops, but then he's playing like what you can like shit that like is almost like metal.
Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck?
Like double bass pedal shit, but he should be like in traditional grip.
He'll even better, he'll do double kicks. He'll do beats that sound like you're using double kick, but he's just got one kick pedal. And so like,
he's just so fast.
You see him walk around, and he's got like a right calf that's way bigger than his left. I'm currently working on that right now. Like, actually, you see me walk around, you're like, the right leg,
a muscle man,
limping around.
Yeah, but then like there's that coming from me, and then Maya introduced like a really, really, really large amount of like extreme metal onto us, and then like Ethan brings melody into the mix with stuff like pop punk, but also like Fugazi and stuff like that from a big cross section of 90s stuff. Like we throw this all into a hat, and you come up with like what we have, and it's like Cool.
Yeah.
Fuck it. No one sounds like this, I guess.
No, 100%.
We'll
You
do
guys,
it.
yeah, you guys sound super unique. Definitely, it's a really cool mix and blend of influences. When you're like writing, like, do you guys think you've gotten to a point in your writing, like, over? Because how long have you been playing now?
Me and Ethan have been playing for almost 3 years.
Okay.
I think it's 3 years this month, actually.
Wow.
Did we start in August or June? I thought it was June.
Oh, then it's over 3 years.
Yeah,
now.
it's
Wow.
over 3 years, yeah.
Sick.
Maya started playing with us late 2021, so it's
Okay.
going to be 2 years this year.
Hell yeah, that's
October.
sick.
Yep.
As you've like gotten down that point or gotten to this point and started writing more and more together and started like playing more shows, do you feel like you begin to understand what your sound is? Because I feel like it takes a long time for bands to get to that point where it's like, what am I naturally writing versus oh shit,
No.
oh fuck, oh my god, what am I naturally writing versus like what do I want to be writing, like what comes out versus what do I want to hear? Like, do you guys feel like you found like what your sound is?
I'll let both of you answer this question.
I don't think so. Just from the sense that we're just kind of always evolving.
Yeah.
We're always trying to like, not one up, but just make a better song every time we write. So like when we release our demo tape, there's always overlap for when we write. So like when we were writing our demo tape, we started writing the first album, sounded nothing alike. When we were writing our first album, we started working on our EP that we dropped this past year, Pig Skinner, and we also started writing the second album. Neither of which any of those sound the same whatsoever. So in that sense, I don't think we have found our own sound. We know how to gel with each other and
Cool.
write. And I think for me personally, I think that's what matters the most because I think we're just going to keep evolving our sound, honestly.
100%. Yeah.
What about you?
I find that a lot of what we end up writing correlates to what we're listening to at the time.
Yep.
And then we kind of end up just instinctually making a song like that, and then just by default, because of how different we are in our inspirations, it just ends up sounding like that.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, it sounds like gosh, like
Yeah, exactly.
I will actually chime in and say I do think like I think with where we are right now, we actually are like getting like as close as we've ever been to finding something that can best be described as us. I will agree with both of them that we are chameleons and will blend into our backgrounds with whatever we're feeling at the moment. But I also think like the stuff that we have like loaded in the chamber right now is like the closest I've ever felt to being like that's a gosh song.
yeah.
I'll
really-
agree with that.
I don't think
I love
like,
that, yeah.
everything that we've put out so far has been like it's felt like because we know where we are consciously about it. It's like we're doing this and this for this song. These few bands are in this song and these few bands are in this song. But like
Totally.
the stuff that we have in the chamber right now, it's like I cannot describe who inspired this.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel really cool about is like specifically with the stuff that we have coming out or that we want to put out with False Flag. I think those songs
Yeah.
specifically, that stuff is like us.
Yeah.
That's so sick.
I agree with that.
And I feel like
Same.
that's such a process, and it takes a long time, to get to that point where it's like, it's also like an interesting balance, because it's like, I almost feel like if you want to sound like the most that you can, like you can't consume as much almost, which is also difficult, especially if you're like getting inspiration from consumption of like other music,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that makes it difficult. So it's like, do you listen to everything? Do you listen to nothing?
I once saw a story of like Johnny Marr when they were writing the first Smiths record. He went in to the studio, didn't listen to any music for like a week, and then wrote the first Smiths album. I'm like,
Whoa.
how? I could not.
I'd go
do that.
insane,
Yeah,
dude. I could
Yeah.
not.
I can't not
Yeah,
have
me
this
too.
in my head like that.
It's the first thing I do in the morning.
Even if I don't
it's
listen to-
not,
yeah.
even if it's not like genre that we're messing in, like
Yeah.
I need to
Yeah.
listen to something. Like
No,
if you're gonna
he-
deprive me of
Yeah.
all music, I probably
Yeah.
for a week before it's all right now put something together. It's like I don't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
I almost like, I'm so curious where my head would go if I stopped listening to music for 2 weeks.
Dude, I'd be thinking about like sports. Like,
Sports? They'd put me in an asylum, dude.
no, dude,
I'd be out tweaking in the streets.
I'd be like put me in front of a drum kit. And I'd be like,
I might go to college.
Shit, I think I'm really invested in Steph Curry being the regular season MVP this year. Boom, fucking hell. Oh, shit like that.
Totally cut you. I'm sorry. What were you
No,
saying?
no, it's good. I was just saying like about the like no consumption or consumption thing. It ended up working great for Johnny Marr because that first Smiths record fucked. But,
Yeah.
I don't know how he did it.
Me neither. I can't imagine that. I honestly can't. I just can't imagine my life without music in any capacity, you know.
Yeah.
But that's very admirable, I feel like, because obviously I'm sure he was the same way.
Yeah.
But, like, being able to step away and kind of like just be within your own thoughts. I'm sure he was writing just from the perspective of like
Just
what
him.
came to him.
Yeah, which is crazy because he's such a good guitarist
Yeah.
too. Like how the fuck did you come up with those riffs
Yeah.
without any sort of music?
Do you guys like when you're I'm interested in this, when you're writing like an instrumental part specifically, right? So when you come up with a bass line or a guitar lick or like a drum beat, like do they come to your head before you're playing them, or do they come from jamming? Like do you ever like wake up or like hear something, you're like, oh, I just got an idea for a riff? Because I don't feel like that ever happens to me unless it's like a melody. Sometimes I'll just like start seeing like a random vocal melody in my head, but it's like outside of that, like it's very difficult to like think of a part in your head before you play it. Do you guys ever feel like you've done that?
I'm definitely more of a jammer than anything
Yeah.
else. I can't say that I wake up with a riff ever, really. It's definitely, it comes from being around those two and just messing around, and then sometimes I come up with something cool, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a lot of what the first record was. Kaiju
Yeah.
was a lot of like there's a few songs on there like I think 4 of the 8 songs that we had on there were stuff that we had come up with. Like we had been working on what ended up becoming Wizard had been like in my head for at least a couple months. Kaiju the same, even further than that. I came up with the riff for Child Prey while on vacation. But
Wait,
then
when you were in Mexico?
no, what?
Oh, that was the year before. After.
Way after. But wasn't that this year?
Yeah.
Wait, was it?
Yeah, it was.
I had a lot of shit happen.
But then like the other half of the album was literally like us almost all in one day, like in a room. Like,
Wow.
this feels cool. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it just like 2 days of just being
It was
in
2
the
days of being in the studio
all
and just
day?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then in
Messing
that
around.
time we made, I think it was Enigma. It was Enigma, Graveyard, Radiation,
Yeah.
and no, actually, okay, no, it was just those 3 because we had
We had that.
we had
had
that
that.
and Mammoth done for a
Mammoth,
while.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like,
Rip Mammoth.
but yeah, recently it's actually been a lot of like me and Ethan just like, hey, I have this. Okay, let's listen to it. It's like a guitar riff.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Let's do this when we get in. Take it to the practice space, and we'll take it to the practice space, and usually in like maybe an hour and a half, sometimes 2, we'll be like, all right, I think we have the song.
Yeah.
And then the lyrics go last.
Yeah. Oh, of
Makes
course.
all that.
That's interesting. Do you ever get to a point where you're like, okay, we came in with this part, we tried it, ran its course, and we're not interested in it anymore? Like,
It's only happened like once. We managed to somehow be really satisfied with what we come up with, like as it happens, which I think like is not a common thing. Like a
Yeah,
lot of people
definitely
are
not.
like, I have this idea, but I don't know what to do with it. All right, bounce it off that person, bounce it off that person. We've gotten 2 steps further. What if we did this to it? We just made it 3 steps back. And
Yeah.
like, I think that's a lot of people's creative process. But for us, it's very much like a, fuck it works.
yeah. Well, I think it also speaks to like who you guys are as a band, like being such a live band. I feel like
Yeah.
that is like if you're writing based on energy that's
Yes.
in the room.
Yes.
It's like
Yeah.
that music's going to translate best to the energy that's in a room when you're playing it live. You know?
You actually made me think about that like just now. Like I never thought about it, but we actually have a really, I'm not going to call it a bad habit, but it is a habit where we'll be like, all right, we have the instrumental. You want to play it?
Yeah, we do that all
And
the
then-
time.
and then,
oh
like-
my God.
Let's
and
play it
then like
tomorrow.
we don't even know what the
No, we
fuck's
do
going
that.
on. And then like we play it.
We're
and,
doing
like,
that now, actually.
But that
we
pushes
are
you.
doing that now. We
Yeah.
straight up don't have lyrics
Yeah.
to that.
We don't- we
So
don't
we
have
played it so many times.
and we've gotten to a point, but it's gotten to, but like basically every time we've done it, it's worked.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Feels
it, like,
good.
it
Yeah.
like people are receptive.
Of course,
feels
yeah.
good for us, and we've managed to like kind of circumvent the whole not having words by having me be so unintelligible on the mic that I can yell not
Anything.
English,
Yeah.
and it will be like, "That's a sick song, dude."
That was a bar.
Yeah.
We're on tour right now with our friends at Backhand from Salt Lake, and their friend Harper is their photographer, and who's tagged along with them on the past couple tours that they've been on. And she went up to us after one of our sets and was like, "That first song you guys play, I love the lyrics, and like, and I'm like, knowing like what's going on, knowing what that song is, and like what I'm doing for that song.
Oh, you like the part where I said?
Yeah. No, it's not even that. It's like, like that's actually what I'm doing up there, which is like,
You're hit home.
you know, it's another Brian Chippendaleism. I'm not gonna lie, because that dude doesn't. He writes songs and then will not do the words to them in favor of just making noises.
Yeah.
Which, great idea.
Yeah.
Having seen how well we do with it, wonderful idea. Shout out to Brian Chippendale for being my dad, basically. Everything I learned musically, I got from him.
That's so sick, and I think it speaks to like how important it is to like not expect every show to go perfect. I don't ever think like, even as a touring band in the early days, that should be your mindset. Like, I don't think you should ever go into a show thinking like this is gonna be perfect and everybody here is gonna love us. I think you should go into a show thinking like, what's the most we can grow at, like possibly on stage in this day, you know, like this particular night.
It's all for us right now, dude. It's just about having fun.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
That's, like,
That's the main thing.
Priority number one is being able to walk out after set and being like,
That was good.
I felt good.
Yeah.
And that's beautiful. I think you guys really have your priorities straight, because that's very, very beautiful. I feel like that's something that at a certain point it sucks, but it comes second. You know, like after a certain amount of time,
I feel like for a lot of people, it's like success. It's like you hit you start achieving things, and then once your achievements start becoming the norm, your expectations shift.
Yes.
And it's like,
it's a human condition.
Right, I got to make sure I pack this room. I got to make sure we sell this much money, maybe make this much money off of the t-shirts. Fuck, we didn't do either of those. You stop thinking about playing.
So exactly.
You can't afford to do that. Where we are, especially, like you can't afford to think that way. It's very much trying to keep the center feeling of like, what do we do this for? We do this for fun. Let's make sure we get out there and just fucking enjoy the time we have up there.
That's beautiful, and I feel like if that is the first priority, everything else just comes.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, it's like that has to be the bigger bubble, or else none of the other bubbles that are smaller will ever happen. You know, and it's strange because I mean, there's it's different too. Like there's a difference between like the energy in a room and the energy on stage. It's like you guys got to be in charge of the energy on stage, and it's like there's a certain point where like, I mean, you can do your best, like hype up the crowd and everything, get them excited, but like there is a point where you cannot control the energy on the floor. You can control the energy on the stage though, and that's what you got to, you make sure you're taken care of.
Yeah, exactly.
How was the crowd experience in LA yesterday? I'm very curious compared to Bay Area crowds.
Ooh, compared.
Okay.
I wasn't expecting that last part.
Yeah, that's
this is coming from somebody who lived in the Bay their entire life and then moved to LA. So I'm from Concord.
Oh,
you're from
sick.
Concord?
What high school did you go to?
Clayton Valley.
I went to YV.
No way!
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You went to YV? Do you know? Actually, I don't know why you would know him, but do you know Eric Bamberger?
No.
I said fuck Eric Bamberger in every damn podcast, man. But the worst basketball coach ever. But he was like like you said a bunch of records like YV or whatever. That's crazy. You went to YV though. So where did you grow up? Did you grow up in Concord or Walnut Creek or?
I moved to Concord when I was 15.
Okay.
I'm from Florida originally.
Well, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Hence the Dolphins hat.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I bet we lived like really close to each other.
Maybe I lived off of San Miguel.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I lived like pretty close to off Clayton, like a couple streets off Clayton.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What the hell?
That's so funny you're from there too, because I live in Pleasant Hill right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice, dude. That's sick. I used to work in the Veranda.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, I worked at the Veranda Lux, the movie theater.
Oh, you worked at the movie theater?
Yeah.
Sick.
Actually, all of this, the idea for all of this was born in that movie theater.
In the movie. That's so
sick.
cool.
Yeah. Which that's crazy. I didn't. Where were you from?
I was born in France, and then I moved here when I was a tiny kid, and I
Okay.
kind of have just been living in Monterey ever since, which is, do you know where Santa Cruz is?
Uh-huh.
It's like 40 minutes south of that.
Okay. Yeah. Monterey's beautiful.
Yeah.
I used to go to the aquarium so much as a kid. It was like my favorite spot in the world. That's so sick. How do we get on that? Oh, yeah, Bay Area crowd versus LA crowd. But yeah, because like, I mean, well, I'll tell you my thoughts after you tell me yours.
It's so hard because like as a Bay Area band, like that's home turf.
That's
like,
what I mean.
so
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
it's such a
It's the
hard
winning team.
It's such a hard thing to beat, knowing it's like, you know, we play Stagel.
I know.
Yeah.
People are pulling the
Yeah.
fuck up, and like
Yeah,
people are
hell
going
yeah.
stupid.
And it's a small room,
That's
you know?
a tiny
Yeah.
room
Yeah.
to fit 120 people. in.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah, I don't know. All I can say though is because I honestly like making that comparison is really difficult. We that was the first time ever that we
Oh,
played.
okay, yeah.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Granted, the kids aren't in school, but like, you know, it's a Wednesday, kind of like hard to, and then we've never been here before.
Yeah.
We had maybe a week to promote it. Who knows what would have happened if we played somewhere else or if we had different people. Who
True.
knows? But it was fun as fuck.
It
I
was
had a
hell
great
yeah.
time. That was so sick.
I love your mindset, dude. I love that you guys like prioritize that. That's beautiful because I
Yeah.
feel like when people lose that, they lose everything.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing it for at that point? Like, that's something I think I've struggled with over
Yeah.
the years. It's like, this becomes so much to me that like I'm like, oh, this is a business. I have to do this. I have to do that. And like, I mean, that's true, but it's also like, why did I start this? Because I care.
Yeah.
It's like, I give a
Yeah.
fuck about music. It's like my
Exactly.
favorite thing in the entire world. So it's like, why don't I put that first?
Exactly.
And everything else comes second, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's
But-
difficult, but.
Yeah, but I mean, like there was a furry in the crowd.
Yeah.
Full suit.
let's go!
Full suit with the fur head, going dumb. It's
Let's
so just
stupid.
like,
go.
you know, it's the even funnier part though. That is not the first time we've had
Yeah.
furries in the
No,
crowd.
that's
Let's
like the
go.
third
It's
time.
like
the third time.
Yeah.
But shout out to the furries for real.
Shout out to the
a lot of-
furries, man.
Fuck with us.
A lot
Yeah.
of people have problems with furries for no fucking reason. They're not out to hurt anybody, dude. They're great people.
You should change your bio to furries.
They're
fuck
also
with
just
us.
out there having fun.
Yeah, they're just out there
Yeah.
having fun.
They're just
And
living
so,
life.
like, yeah, they're living their life. They're not hurting nobody.
That's what
they're
I
having
mean,
fun.
dude.
It's
Like,
cool.
like, you know, the furry thing. Like, I don't think I could ever do it, but also, like, I mean,
No, it's totally okay to not identify
Yeah.
as an animal,
yeah, 100%.
but it's also okay to identify as an animal.
Totally, yeah. Like, if you want to do it, you whatever floats your boat. You know, I'm not gonna shit on you for identifying as an animal.
Exactly.
You know? There was this, and I wonder if you guys are familiar with this because you're from the East Bay. Do you know of the purple people, the sex cult in Lafayette?
Yes.
Yeah.
I know about it. Yeah.
There was all these kids in my high school, and they would, in this, like, it was an interesting moral dilemma. There was like the sex cult in like Lafayette. People would go and they would just egg like all the houses and shit, and like it made
As a sex cult?
No. Like kids from my school would go and like just throw eggs and shit at the houses, and I
Oh,
really
at the sex cult.
yeah at the sex cult because they lived in like a portion of a neighborhood,
Okay.
and it kind of like bothered me because I was all like, these people are just like, I mean, you know, whatever. They're not hurting anybody. They're just
Yeah.
kind of doing their sex cult thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're not kidnapping anybody.
That's
They're
what
not
I mean.
forcing people to get in there.
Like, why are you throwing
Fuck,
eggs at their
dude,
houses?
yeah.
Like,
Leave 'em alone.
Yeah.
Leave 'em
yeah,
alone.
like let them do their thing.
Yeah.
Outside of the furries in the crowd, what was there was good energy? You said this this show though.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very
Hell
good
yeah.
energy.
Yeah. It was just such a cool spot.
It was a
I don't know.
warehouse. You said.
Yeah,
Cool.
Warehouse. There was like a little lounge off to the side where it was kind of like a raised seating area, a bunch
Nice.
of bean bags, and the stage was right next to it. There was a green room that was kind of just a closet, but we set up a Switch in there. We were playing Smash.
Oh,
Yeah,
Shout out to Mitch from Backhand for
Yeah.
being such a fucking guy and like bringing a monitor, a battery, HDMI, the Switch dock. Just to play video games and being the only one in his band who really enjoys
Yeah.
playing
Let's
video games
go.
like that. Found us, actual nerds about Super Smash Bros. To play with. We got there, put our shit inside, and then started
just
playing.
Like Smash.
You're like, fuck sound check, man. Like,
Yeah.
dude,
You don't need one. We're a punk band.
games in the green room is like my favorite thing. I have this friend named Sterling. Shout out to Sterling. He's my guy. But I went and I saw him play at the Great American Music Hall. And we were like hanging out in the green room, and this dude literally brought his PC. Like he brought his PC and he was streaming
To
OBS.
the music
He was streaming?
What?
Yeah, he was
Streaming on Twitch from the green room.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
playing?
He was playing Fortnite.
Of course.
And then he
Yeah.
started playing what's it called? The Nickelodeon fighting game. You know what I'm talking
Oh,
about?
I know
Oh,
exactly
yeah,
what you're talking
yeah,
about.
yeah.
Yeah,
I don't. Yeah, I got scraped, dude. He made me look like an idiot. It was crazy. It was a hard game. It's
That's
like
how I
Smash
feel
but
playing Mitch,
harder.
dude. That's how I feel playing Mitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mitch is
That dude's-
insane.
that dude's
He's
hella
cracked.
good. He
Smash real guy.
No, for
no,
real.
Dude, he showed us his hours logged.
Oh my
on his
God,
Switch.
yeah.
Uh huh.
He has almost 2,000 hours logged on Super Smash Bros.
Shit.
Like, but
It's insane.
that being said,
Dedication.
I feel like I'm exposing Mitch. Mitch, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. But
Mitch, I respect it. Mitch
is on that grind.
He said like, you think for the amount of hours I have, I'd be a little better at the game. And honestly,
Yeah. I like that you did the Mitch voice.
Yeah, that was a good Mitch voice. Why do you do all the Mitch voices good? Because isn't Muscle Man's
I
name
forgot
Mitch?
Muscle Man's name.
He was, Mitch. Starla's voice.
Are you trying to get me to do it again?
Can you do Starla?
You want me?
I think Starlet's just like the opposite version.
Can I do Starlet?
Yeah.
No, I can't. No.
Yeah, Starlet's hard.
Starlet's difficult.
Yeah.
I have a little bit too much bass in my voice to do Starlet well. Yeah.
Starlet's like the female equivalent, like a muscle man, like essentially, which is kind of weird to think about.
Yeah.
He's like dating himself.
Basically.
You know? Yeah, it's kind of strange. I feel like the Bay Area, like it's been interesting moving here from the Bay Area because I feel like the crowds are very different.
They are.
And
and
it's strange because it's like there's a certain palpable energy that I think comes from Bay Area venues and just the Bay Area scene, like as it is. I mean, regardless of what genre it is, what scene it is, there's something about the Bay Area music that is so like welcoming and just so like non-judgmental that I love. And I think here it's just a bigger place maybe, so it gets a bit more difficult, but
it's interesting that you say that it's like less judgmental because this is, last night was our first time playing here. We hope to come back soon so we could have just more experiences in the area so we could have a better feel for it. But we have spoken to friends who have come up to the Bay from LA and they've said things like people actually like listen to the music in the door.
Wow, that's interesting because I would think they'd say the opposite, honestly.
I wouldn't know, but that's what he said. He was like, "Oh no, the kids like pulled up and they actually like care about the art," and it's like, is that really what it's like down here? Like, do people like just show up to get fucked up, throw some fists or in the pit, and then just leave? Like, is that really what it's about? But because that's not the vibe that we got yesterday. Like, at the very least, there were people there who were like about the music.
That's sick, yeah.
Who like just cared about the art. And it's like. But, more time needed to really get a good grip on it to fully know. But
that's interesting.
Heard some stuff like
it's
that.
It's very interesting your friend said that because I thought you were going to say he said the opposite. Like I thought you were going to say you went to the Bay and he was like, damn, I miss LA crowds.
No, he was like,
cool.
Like, I'd rather play up here all the time.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, really? Okay.
I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about this whole kind of hardcore bubble that is like happening like in the Bay Area right now. I feel like with bands like you guys and Moonwave and Surprise Privilege and a lot of those bands, like that whole scene, it seems like there's like a lot bubbling right now, and it's interesting because like you bring up Stay Gold, right? And I've been thinking a lot
Home
about
turf.
That's what I've been thinking about a lot recently because it's like Stay Gold. I was talking to Kate about this from Moonwave. Shout out to Kate.
Shout out Kate.
Shout out Kate,
Moonwave, baby.
Yeah, but
shout out Ricky. Shout out Luca.
We were talking about like how Stay Gold almost feels like a more modern day like Gilman, like in a lot of cool ways. It's almost like the new. It's like our generation's version.
Yes,
it feels like
that.
It might as well be because like, Gilman's run in a very specific way where it's like the people who spend the most time there are the people with with the power. And there was a good bit of last year where it was like, what is Gilman but a indie alt pop punk venue?
Yeah.
And like only in the past year have like they finally opened their doors to letting people book other shows there. Like RNRG, Sound and Fury, hardcore promoters have finally gotten their crack at booking shows there. Powerhouse, Neanderthal, like they've all been able to put hard bands there for once. That wasn't happening in 2022, like at all. Not Gilman. Stay Gold, on the other hand, they don't give a fuck.
Shout out Eddie.
Shout out to Eddie. Shout out to the owner of Stay Gold.
Such a sweetheart.
They will. It doesn't matter. They're gonna. If you want a date, they're gonna give you the date. And like,
it's so easy.
Didn't they only just recently start taking a cut of the door? And even then, it's like not that much.
I don't even think they're taking
I don't think
a cut.
I think
no. I know they don't. I know they basically don't take door at all. But like Liza,
but I think
that
Liza,
voluntary?
I think so, and I think Gerald did the same thing.
Okay, because when we played there, we give them a cut of the door.
Oh, you guys are sweet. That's awesome.
Because like
they deserve it.
They really
do.
Yeah, they do.
They deserve it.
I live literally like 5 minutes away, and I'll go there, not like on a day that we're not even playing a show, just to get food and to say hi.
That's cool.
And they're just the most welcoming human beings you've ever met.
Yeah.
Like they deserve all the love. They deserve as much cut of the doors as they can
Yes,
get.
100%.
Like they just deserve the world, honestly.
And it's beautiful because it feels like, damn, I just got chills thinking about that. But it's beautiful because it feels like our like age's version of like what Gilman was like in the 90s, and it's
which
like
is sick.
I'm
so excited to see like where Stay Gold goes over the next 10 years. Like, do those guys like buy another venue, or like do they start throwing shows outside? Like, there's so many things I could see them like doing, or I could see it literally just staying how it is right now for like the next 10 years and just like having that culture evolve.
It's a really, really sick spot. It's a really sick spot, and like it is starting to be a thing where like
totally.
We're starting to see people start taking it a little bit for granted. We're starting to see people do things to the venue where like, what the fuck?
I don't fuck with
treating treating the staff that work there and let us be there like pretty poorly, doing like vandalizing the spot.
That's fucking
just being rude,
irritating.
and like, you know, you see that happen, and it's like, you remember everything that we've built here can and will be taken away.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it's like, you know, don't fuck it up.
Yeah.
Knowing that
up.
it's as good as it is, because like it's quite literally, like I've said it before while playing there, and I'll say it right now. Genuinely believe like Stay Gold is top 1 DIY venue in the Bay Area for sure. Like in my opinion, like I don't think there is a spot that you can just ask and they'll be like, fuck it.
Yeah.
These are your days.
There's a ton of great spots,
show
but
up,
like
play.
Stay Gold is just what they're doing is so crazy right now.
It's amazing.
A lot of these like new kids that are coming in and just disrespecting it, like they could have been there since like this wave first started. Probably not, but like it sucks because they haven't seen this gigantic like.
Totally.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be the younger
Thank you.
kids, which
Yeah.
I mean makes sense, but
Yeah, but it's also difficult when it's younger people because like what do you it's hard to police, you know, it's hard
well,
to
it's
just
not even about policing. It's just decency, you know.
100%.
It's simple etiquette.
Yeah.
It's simple etiquette to preserve what you have, and that's
It's just like
that's
respect.
What yeah. And it's something they don't see because they're like a lot of them are really young and have never been to shows before. So it's
Yeah.
like they're like, fuck it, I'm a punk ass kid. I'll do whatever the fuck I want. I don't care. I'm a
Totally.
fucking punk.
Yeah, and then you can't even tell them anything because they're gonna be like,
Yeah.
"Who are you? Like pigs? Like what?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? Are
Just
you the
don't
police?
like
Yeah.
Are you the
throw
police?
shit around. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Are you a cop?
Just don't be a
fuck up
dick.
This restaurant that
Yeah,
we're playing in.
look at this.
How
This
about
dude's
you-
letting us play a show here, and you're
free.
yelling at him for no reason.
How
What are
about
you doing?
How about you like appreciate that you have this for once?
Yeah, look around. Everyone's having a good time except for you right now.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
But it's very interesting too because it's clear like those are the people like if you really care about music and like you've been playing for a long time or you've been going to shows for a long time, you appreciate the fuck out of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like you will not take it for granted, but it's like
No.
people who like maybe they've always had the ability to play
Yeah.
or they've always had the ability to go to shows.
Yeah.
Wherever. It's like they don't know what it's like to not have that or to
Exactly.
not have a place like Stay Gold that like will so easily like dude, I play in this band and it's like literally what's so cool about Stay Gold is they'll book whatever bill, you know. It's like
They will.
genre wise. Like I
Yeah.
play in like an all rock band and it was so cool. I literally just like the first time we ever played there, I just DM'd and I was like, hey, can we play on this day? And they're like, yeah, here's Doors time.
Yeah.
Promote it.
Exactly.
Run your own sound. You're good.
Yeah.
I was like, what? Yeah, it's crazy.
Literally, like, yeah, you can have the spot, but do it yourself.
Yes.
And it's the beauty of it. And in that too, like in the same conversation of like, oh, be appreciative of what you have. We literally watched San Jose crumble in front of our eyes.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
There was a spot. So San Jose's, playback, yeah. Mario knows, he was there.
Yeah.
Mario.
Mario saw us play last at Playback Studios in San Jose with
Rest in
Grad
peace.
Knight, Kilroy, and Moonwave. One of
Damn,
the
that's
last-
a cracked bill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So,
We had
there
Max
was
in here a
this-
couple weeks ago, and then we just had the Moonwave guys in here
Hell
like a week
yeah.
ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick. Shout out to those guys.
Shout out.
Playback Studios was this spot in San Jose that started from the guy who just ran the rehearsal space because it's a rehearsal space.
Yeah.
And then this organization called Heavy Lemon came in and like cracked it open, and they're like, "Hey, you don't have to worry about the shows anymore. Just let us have the space. We'll organize
Cool.
everything. You just have to be here for the key. And that's it. We'll take care of it. We'll make sure it's safe. We'll make sure it's like not getting destroyed.
Uh-huh.
Everything. It's fine."
Nice.
They basically opened up.
And when was this?
This was like the middle of 2022.
Okay.
Around then, yeah, I'd say. They opened up that spot because originally the guy who just ran the rehearsal space would just do like either shows in like the lobby living room, which was like actually maybe the size of like if you like
Yeah, smaller than
cut
this room for sure.
so like the end of that cabinet all the way down to the door, and that's the size.
Jesus. Yeah.
Or it would be in the parking lot.
Yeah. Okay.
Outside.
That's crazy.
Very, very DIY spot. That spot was like immediately started cracking because Heavy Lemon, like, not only does Heavy Lemon cater to a lot of like indie alternative music that's local, but they also are friends with a lot of like the guys who run RNRG who do like, you know, hardcore, loud shit, metal. So you had bands coming in there from all over the place. Like Spy, I saw Spy the day before Thanksgiving. Military Gun played there. Countless other people who I'm forgetting. There's just so many people who've played there. that spot only lasted like what, Mario, like maybe for like a year total, but then like it only started ramping up being like a poppin' spot for like 4 months.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, gone.
That's probably why I never. Yeah, because I only heard about. I've probably known about. I mean, I never went there, but I've only known the name for probably like the last few months from people telling me about it.
Yeah, it was a spot that lasted for a very short amount of time, and it wasn't the fault of the people who ran it.
What was the downfall of it?
The landlord pulled the plug and just didn't want to have it.
Oh, that sucks.
And that was that. And like since then, San Jose has been struggling to find DIY spots. They're like. There's one that's popped up, but like we just played there, and it is rough. Cause, huh?
Under the freeway?
No, dude, the pillars got blown up.
Yeah.
What?
The pillars got blown
Someone
up.
set the pillars on fire.
Somebody set it on fire. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was.
Why?
There was another spot. There was another spot.
Yeah, I know that. That's
called,
why,
Oh,
yeah.
you know the pillars.
Yeah.
So. The band Cancer Christ was supposed to play there.
Uh-huh.
The kids showed up early for setup, and it's like the middle of July, so everybody has fireworks.
Yeah.
Glass faces all dry. Somebody shot a firework, landed in the brush, and set the whole hill on fire. And then the
Oh my
cops
God.
came. And then the cops came, and then everybody was like, "All right, well,
Spot's dead.
spot's dead.
Yeah.
Can't go there because
It's getting patrolled now.
They're gonna be looking for it now.
Yeah, of course.
So that spot's gone.
Why you gotta set shit on fire?
I know.
And then like there was a spot that lasted a bit through 2021 into like early mid 2022 that was pretty popular. They still throw shows there. It's just that nobody likes dealing with their management. The X Bar in Cupertino.
I've heard of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the X Bar in Cupertino. Yeah, fuck X Bar for real. 'Cause
Yeah.
Ooh.
their whole thing.
I'm interested in this. Yeah.
It's a pretty cool spot if you think about it as a whole. It's literally a bar that's like attached to a family bowling
It's
alley.
90% bowling alley and 10% venue.
That's cool.
10% venue. And like you could pack that place the fuck out. It's
Yeah.
actually a pretty sick spot to play. The problem is because of the way that management works, they like
It's a bowling alley, yeah.
They well, and then the bar, they require a $5 surcharge if you're under 21 that goes to the bar so that they can take money from kids.
That's like a ton of venues doing that now. Yeah.
Dude, and then so it's like they will charge. Then there's like people who run their shows out of there who will be like, "Hey, your show's $15 to get in,
Dude, honestly,
but you're 16."
Yeah.
20
honestly, the $5 surcharge is cheap. Some venues are doing like
Oh,
$10,
well,
$15
I
surcharges
bet.
now. Yeah.
I bet. But I mean, like, if you're
Like venues
setting
in the city.
if you're setting the base ticket at $15 to see bands you can go see
Yeah.
for free,
Yeah. Yeah.
what the fuck are we
100%.
doing?
Yeah.
The shittiest thing, the last time we played there, and we kind of agreed, like, yeah, we're not dealing with this again, is we were telling people to buy their tickets online because we were under the impression that the, like, surcharge would be waived.
No,
Yeah.
that's what they told us, though.
Yeah, so all these kids were buying their tickets online, not coming to
Oh,
the
and they
door with
got
any
there.
cash, and they got there and they wouldn't let them in. They're like, no, $5. And we got told that and got pissed, and like Jaden had to like talk to management and the promoter that we were working with, and we were super pissed off. And it sucks because that spot was our first show, so
Really?
it kind of means a lot. But also at the same
Yeah.
time, like if you're gonna be fucking like these kids over with their money, like you can't do that.
Yeah, like if you care about it that much, just don't do an all ages show.
Yeah.
And then that that fixes the problem before it even starts. You know, it's like just don't do an all ages show if you're concerned about bar sales.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's like then you don't have to do some bullshit $5 surcharge. It's like if you just say you're under 21, this is 21 plus show because you want to make money on the bar. Understandable. People gotta make money. Whatever.
Yeah.
You know, but it's like that little surprise $5-10 surcharge.
Yeah.
It's like for a kid, it's like that's gonna mean they're not gonna go to the show.
For a kid who
Yeah.
probably already definitely got a ride to Cupertino because it's in
Yeah.
the middle of nowhere. Like,
Yeah.
who has like $20 when you're 15 trying to see a
Yes,
show?
exactly.
Right.
Especially,
like-
especially with the weight of $20 falling, like
Yeah.
as far
Yeah.
as it's gotten in just 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
it's rough.
I'm very, very specific about all the shows that we throw are always all ages.
Yeah.
Like I've turned down opportunities of doing like 21 plus shows because like the way that I think about it is like if 21 or if all ages venues did not exist in the Bay Area, I would not be doing what I'm doing right now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if I can't give that opportunity to other people, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? And-
Those formative years are so important for artists.
yeah, dude.
Like, that's straight because that stuff never goes away. Like you never stop thinking about like, man, I saw this person when I was 15.
I will never, ever, ever forget about some of the shows I went when
Yeah.
I was a kid. Ever.
Exactly. Oh man, first time I went to Gilman, I was 16. Never forgetting that.
Yeah.
Do I like that music anymore? Maybe not really, but like I'm never gonna forget that being my first show experience.
Yeah.
Being able to do what I did that night. You know, like
And that's so cool because I mean I'd actually be really curious to like what that culture is like in other places that are like comparable to the Bay Area. Like I wonder like how many all ages venues like Portland has, or like Seattle. Like I'd be interested to see like if that culture exists there.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot in the Bay Area. Unfortunately, a lot of them are beginning to become like 21 plus spots or like get older, and it's just it's weird to see that kind of venue thing fade. You know, like I would ask you guys, what has your experience been playing in spots like, say like the X Bar or like Oakland Secret or like there are like Stay Gold, like the DIY spots like that, versus playing like I saw you guys play Cornerstone, like versus playing a venue like that. Like how do those experiences differ, and what do you prefer?
I definitely prefer the smaller ones. I mean, Cornerstone is crazy, and it always will be. Just it's massive.
You guys had a crazy fill there.
It's it's insane. It's definitely a different beast than just playing like the Stay Gold show. But I do prefer the smaller ones. It's just, I don't know. It's you feel the energy more,
Totally.
I guess. People are more in your face. You can genuinely see them having a good time. They're right next to you. I don't know. It feels more accessible that way.
I'm pretty much going to say the same thing. Cornerstone's awesome, you know, getting to be on a bigger stage with monitors, and we have, like, our logo behind us and everything.
Yeah,
like,
we get to play our
cool.
projector or whatever.
It's sick. It's kind of like, oh, yeah, we're doing it moment. But at the same time, nothing will beat, you know, like 15 kids right in front of your face screaming your lyrics back at you at Stay Gold. Like, nothing beats that. Like, seeing kids stage out of a Cornerstone is cool, but no one really catches anybody, so no one really stage dives.
You just see people who are, like, having a good time,
not
and
really
they break
staged.
themselves.
No, I think I definitely prefer the DIY spots.
That's really cool. I would imagine. Did you think that's because of like the way you came up?
No, I came up like dreaming about playing places like Cornerstone or like even bigger, like, you know, like Hollywood Bowl or something, like Red Rocks or some shit. But no, once we started playing, I was
Ethan's trying to play the Bill Graham.
Yeah. No, the intimacy is sick. Like, if we ever got the opportunity to play bigger venues, obviously that's incredible. But, you know, this is our early years. Like we said, we're trying to have fun. There's nothing more fun and more exciting than playing those DIY spots, and it's just hot and sweaty. There's kids crowding
Nothing like
you.
watching some kid mosh so hard he knocks the PA over and it like hits you when you're just trying to play.
But I think there's something too about like what would the word be? Like almost like the randomness and the chaos of it all. That like makes it fun.
It's
because
truly
it's like,
just mayhem out there.
Someone brought like
so
a
good.
giant stuffed fish to Stay Gold the other day.
Let's go. That's so sick. Because why not? Why the fuck
Rainbow
wouldn't you?
trout.
Yeah, ginormous rainbow trout that was swiftly obliterated during our Wall of Death in Wizard.
That was my fault though, because I told them to throw it. You've been to Seattle, right?
No.
They have this fish market in Seattle where they'll just throw big ass like basses at people.
What?
Yeah.
There's salmon.
Is it salmon?
That's like something out of a movie.
I just really wanted to see.
It's just like a spectacle thing. Like, it's literally like they're not. You can throw or catch the fish, but it's mainly like, oh, we're gonna do the thing, and then it's like two employees come out and they're just like, whoa, wow, and then everybody's like, oh,
we threw the fish.
I just thought it would be really funny to see that happen during our Wall of Death, and then there was so much stuffing all over the ground after, and Jaden had to tell everybody to clean it up, and I did not think that would happen. They cleaned it up, which was awesome. Like, thank God.
How did it rip?
I don't know how you didn't think that. I really don't know how you didn't think that one.
In the minute, like, we were about to play the show, I just was like, oh, that'd be funny.
Fuck the fish
You just
up.
be saying shit,
You
dude.
just say
I
shit.
do.
That's so but I totally know what you mean. Like there's something about like there's something about like
I know.
dude, like there's something about Stay Gold like in the summer when the doors are open and it's hot as shit and there's a bunch of flies. Like, in the
there's
room.
always flies in
There's always
there. It
flies
doesn't
in
matter if it's 20 degrees out there, if it's 80 degrees out there,
Like
it's gonna be flies.
That's just part of it, you know?
Yeah.
That's what's so cool. I was looking at the tour you guys are on, by the way. Congrats on such a long tour. It's really fucking
you.
cool.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. How has it been playing in like Chico and like Stockton and like places like that? Like, because I was thinking, I was like, those got to be like smaller spots, and I haven't heard of a ton of people playing in spots like that. Because you guys have a lot of West Coast dates.
Yeah,
especially the bigger backhand one.
Yeah, primarily bigger, or primarily just we intended for there to be a couple more stops outside of California, but it ended up just being California with what like ended up happening with the schedule. But playing like the tiny towns where you wouldn't assume that there'd be stuff has resulted in like a more a better understanding for what like a true good show feels like in an intimate setting. When you look out straight and you see 10 people, that really like it forces you to think differently about how you're going to approach your performance. It's like, all right, well, got to make this memorable for the 10 people that are here. Let's just do it. And then you go and like you fucking put everything you got into it. And it feels great. And then those 10 people will say that was fucking amazing. And you're like, that's why I did it. Like, thank you for coming. Like, I'm glad we could impress. And that's like basically it. Like,
that's so
Chico is a really, really hot coffee shop. Like, it was like a really hot coffee shop.
It was so sweaty in there.
Stockton was like the back of like a workshop. Like it was like a workshop parking lot, but then there were like just tons of art shit everywhere.
Oh, that's
like,
cool.
You have like a skeleton.
Yeah,
like,
it was one of those 12-foot Home Depot skeletons that was just disassembled and laying in
just the rib cage.
Just
the rib cage over in the corner by some picnic tables, and then like
that's a crazy visual.
A punching bag over in the other corner, and then like a gazebo, and somehow a stage with
really nice shit.
Yeah, an oddly nice sound setup, and we're just like, you just laid it out there and had fun. And like us in the backhand, got like, there's photos that their photographer posted where I like put Mitch on my shoulders during the song.
Yeah, he's playing bass up there. It's great.
Yeah,
how was Fresno?
It was so fun. Fresno is pretty like crazy because this is the first time I've ever been there, and like I knew it was like, you know, Central Valley has a reputation of being kind of boring. Central Valley, but like the people that we did meet there were fucking about it. Like they were actually about it. And like the kids who did pull up on a Monday with on 1 day's notice of a venue change showed up and like they gave it what they got. I had a lot of fun at that show actually. That was really cool.
Yeah, 1 day notice, venue change, Monday night, and then
how'd it happen?
It was like 100 degrees in the warehouse, and it was 104 degrees that day.
Yeah.
It was crazy hot in there.
Yeah,
Central Valley.
Yeah, and like, dude, the people that showed up. Like,
they were out there moshing still.
Dude, yeah, they were about.
I was sweating.
Shout out Martirio. Good.
Yeah, they were
band.
so good.
Good fucking band.
Sick.
Dude.
Fresno, Davis, Chico, all college places.
We have played in Davis.
Yeah.
We didn't play it on the tour, but we played in Davis.
Oh, okay. Playing places like, do you guys get the college pool? Because it's interesting, right? Because like in my head, I'm like, oh, nobody at Chico listens to like hardcore music or like hard music, but there's gotta be like, there definitely is, right?
The thing is, we were playing out of the school year. So
what about have you played Davis during the school year?
Nope.
Oh wow, okay.
Davis Music Festival is like right as they get out. So
yeah.
They're all gone.
Interesting.
We played Davis Music Festival. That was early June or mid June. So yeah, they just got out.
I'd be interested to like see, like if that kind of music would appeal to people. I'm sure there's got to be like some college people that would come, right?
We've played one college.
Okay.
It was our college.
Oh God! Don't talk about
depot,
it.
Or no?
I'm just remembering Mammoth.
No. The church.
Oh, yes, that was actually good. I was like, we're talking about the first one.
No. The first one, we were not a good band.
No, we weren't. That's what I was thinking of.
The second time we played it, they put us on at it was a repurposed chapel. It used to be the church because we went to Cal State Monterey Bay, which is built on Fort Ord. So it used to be
barracks.
And
it still is barracks mostly.
Yes, all the dorms are just repurposed barracks for soldiers, and like
that's crazy.
They just repurposed all this shit for use for the school.
Just big brick building.
And so there's this place called the Meeting House, and it was a church. It still looks like one. There's still the bell at the top. Like you go in, there's definitely like what was an altar, and like they took out all the seats, but like it's a church. Like you could tell the architecture, it's a church, and like. They ended up taking the Otter Media, which is like their like entertainment, student-run entertainment. They like took it over with permission from the school, and let us headline a show there for free.
For free.
It was for free.
Whoa!
And there were like 200 people in the church.
How?
It capped at 256.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So there were like almost 300 people who pulled up because we have managed to tap into. My favorite scene, like that I know of, that's like really, really small, There is shit going on in Salinas, California. That is
the fucking salad bowl, dude.
The salad bowl
I saw you guys
is
played
crazy.
that. I saw that video you guys playing that. Like it was like a house show
Yeah.
for the release of a zine, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
That was
the
insane.
Virgo Mag house show in the driveway of her parents' house.
At the end of like a cul-de-sac.
At the end of literally on the corner of like a neighborhood.
So there's a scene there.
There's
There
a
is a
scene
scene
Cool
there.
scene.
There is
It's
a scene
incredible.
There.
Yeah.
There are kids coming up with shit there that like they get fucking down, dude. They're
Yeah.
so down.
Though that
Shout out
to,
Parasite and Otter.
Parasite,
sure.
for real, yeah.
that to me is the coolest thing ever. I
Yeah.
love that. Like
Yeah.
when there's a scene like that.
Yeah.
That's I wonder, but there's got to be like a not very many venues out there, right? I've been to Salinas once in my life.
There's nothing.
It's
It's all
mostly house
DIY.
shows and then Other Brother. There's
Wow.
a brewery down there.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is not in Salinas.
Yeah,
That's
it's in
in Monterey.
Seaside.
It's in Seaside.
Seaside.
Yeah, I saw you guys put that. Where the fuck is Seaside? I like.
It's basically Monterey.
Seaside is Seaside is a college town.
I see. Okay.
College town. Marina, CSUMB sits on the line of Marina
And Seaside.
Okay.
So it's like you'll be on campus and like you can step over like one street and you're technically in Marina now.
Yeah,
You step
yeah.
back, you're in Seaside now. But like it's kind of the suburbs of outer Monterey. Like it's where like the less affluent people who
Wow.
do stuff in Monterey, that's where they live.
I see.
So it's just a regular ass town. It's like a regular ass town.
It's a
And-
sea town.
yeah, it's just a sea town by the ocean.
Because
But-
Monterey is very, very like affluent now, right?
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
inner Monterey.
Mhm.
It's interesting because it's interesting too. Because like when I think about Monterey, like there's the beautiful parts with like like all the gigantic homes and stuff.
Big ass home.
Yeah, but then
Yeah,
there's
PG.
kind of like downtown Monterey, like where the aquarium is,
Mm-hmm.
and when you go further down that strip right there, it's not so nice. Which is like
Which way?
like
going up north or going down
if I'm
south?
looking at the aquarium right here, going down that main street with the candy shop and everything, like that big strip down there.
Oh, the Cannery Row?
Yeah, I guess if that's what it's called.
So if you keep going back that way, it's not that nice.
If you keep going back, if I'm facing the aquarium,
Facing the
going
aquarium,
that
you're
way.
going this way.
Yeah, it
Oh,
would seem
well, I
like-
mean,
So
yeah,
that is Cannery Row.
That is.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's Cannery Row, but it's like basically if you just keep going that way. Well, actually,
No, it's all
'cause you run
Cannery
into
Row.
Casa Well, no. Well, I'm just thinking like outside of Cannery Row, like if you keep just going. Well, I mean,
I guess I just didn't know how diverse Monterey was. I didn't think it was that big. Like I thought it was.
No,
It's pretty substantial.
it's-
Monterey County is one of the biggest counties in California.
yeah, you
I
do.
know
Yeah,
that, yeah.
You get past Gilroy, and it's you're
still
there,
Monterey,
and you're just
yeah.
like, no, I'm in fucking Castroville.
Yeah.
It's still Monterey County.
Still Monterey County.
Yeah, that's so cool. Okay, wait. So where is? Because I've been to Salinas, but in my head I don't know where it fits on a map. It's like
It's west of
even-
or it's east of Monterey.
Northeast.
never eat soggy waffles. So it's like
It's this way.
Yeah.
I
So if
see.
Monterey is here, it's this way.
Interesting.
And it's like
Wow.
inland, and it's literally just a farm town. Like,
Yeah, it's very
those-
agricultural.
Do those kids ever come and play like Bay Area shows, or no? Is it too
we're
far?
trying to get them.
We're
to.
trying to
they're
haul them.
starting, They're starting to they're beginning to entertain the idea. It's the fact is like the thing about it is that they're all young. Like they're all like
Yeah.
around like 18, 19, 20.
Oh, that's cool.
And so like they're just like they just started working the job that they're gonna have for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Like slinging coffees and shit. Like they just got there. They're like, oh man, I don't know if my car can get that far. They're like right there.
Yeah.
But they're starting to become interested in getting out of there and playing outside of there because like I'm not saying I wouldn't say they necessarily have hit their ceiling, but they're starting to be like the thing in Salinas.
Wow.
And it's beginning to be a thing where it's like you guys need to be an export now. Like
Yeah.
you're kind of too big to keep doing it like
Yeah.
only there. And so like we're trying to get them to the Bay Area. for
What was
sure.
your intro to that scene? Like, how'd you meet all those bands up there and start playing there?
So because me and Maya went to the same college,
I see.
we got off like we've had one show March of 2022, and then like a couple kids at our college saw it, and then they told some people who got in contact with us like, hey,
Cool.
we're playing this day at somebody's house in Salinas.
Yeah.
If you want to play, you could play. And that was actually the first and only time that we've ever had to play without one of us. Maya had to go to France
Yeah.
for a trip, and it was just me and Ethan, and we got our friend Dylan to play drums, and I played bass.
Dylan Gillespie.
No,
Oh.
Dylan Thomas. Dylan Thomas.
Oh, like the Better Oblivion Community Center. They have a song called Dylan Thomas.
There you go.
Yeah, continue. Sorry.
No, but like he played for us, and then like from that moment, that's where we met the guys in Otter for the first time. The guys in Parasite were like, they were. They don't want me talking about this because
they
they're
really
embarrassed. Don't. But Parasite were called Hard, at Work.
What?
Hard at Work.
They were called Hard at Work.
Oh, that was the name of the band.
That was the name of the band.
Oh,
And they played like old punk covers. Like that was like most of their repertoire was like
Hard
old 80s
at Work.
punk covers.
Yeah.
Hard at Work.
Oh, I see what they're trying to do. There.
But like
Took
if
me
you
a second. I was like,
they have some shit in the chamber right now where if you listen to what they have cooking versus what they started with, night and fucking day.
It's insane.
Fucking
It's
awesome.
so sick.
So heavy.
Hard at
But
Work.
so like that was where they got their start, and then like basically since then that Selena scene who was there at that show have basically been like, gosh, it's the shit, because like we're not from there, and so like they were like, they're not from, why are they here? And then they saw us play and they're like, they're fucking sick. And since then it's just been like,
that's so cool.
we pull up and they show out.
Yeah.
I think sometimes they honestly show up more than Bay Area.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's yes.
Is
some
it just a
places,
lack
yeah.
of things to do there, or is it?
I mean, yes, definitely.
And I think that's actually most of it. I think most of it is that like they have a show there. That's the thing to do. Because, I mean, that's, their scene is like very small.
Yeah.
Whereas like we play somewhere. If we're playing on the same day as like 3 of our friends' bands, and they're all playing somewhere else, all the kids are going to go see them because that's all. There's more people to see if we're not playing with people that the kids know. So I mean, like, I'm not going to necessarily like disagree with that, but I'm also going to give a caveat where it's like, there's a shit. There's just more. The scene's so big, we're competing.
Yeah,
like,
totally.
For the pull of our audience, like, I mean, if we're playing with like 3 bands who our main audience doesn't know of, it's like. Are they going to come see us and only us? Or are they going to go see 3 of our friends?
It is very interesting. It's very interesting to think about because, like, in my head, I always say like music doesn't have to be a competition. It very rarely does, except oddly enough, like when you're super local, because like there is a world where like if there's like 3 or 4 bands, like let's say you guys are playing Staggold one night, right? There's another band like within your genre that's playing Gilman, and another one that's playing like. Bottom of the Hill or
right across water in SF.
Yeah, or Neck of the Woods or whatever.
Show.
It's like that is going to affect your pull.
Yeah.
Like there's no doubt about it. That will affect your pull.
And that's not to say that that's necessarily a bad thing. Like,
no,
it's honestly having like that much cool shit to choose from is really sick.
Of course,
it's like, it's a thing where sometimes we have a show and there's not that many people there, and that's okay.
Yeah, totally. Do you? I'd ask you because I feel like this is something that could help out like people who watch this who are like smaller bands or like really starting or like really trying to get shows like in that stage of beginning to gig very frequently. It's really cool to me that you guys play like literally wherever. Like you guys have played so many different spots. How did you begin to like get into that mentality where you knew so many different bookers and promoters and talent buyers and people at venues and just venue owners to where you could kind of get in that pocket? Because I feel like some smaller bands, like newer bands specifically, have a lot of trouble getting shows in the very, very early days. So how do you guys go about that in the very early days? And like, what would you say to a band that's having trouble getting shows?
You want to go?
Yeah. I was going to say it's literally Jaden not being scared to talk to people.
Yeah.
That's number
beautiful.
one, that's what it is. I feel, because I'm terrified to talk to people.
Yeah.
I am the person who does all the talking. Like I am like, I say I'm not sociable, and then like I'll hang out with people I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, to get like further than that though, like, yeah, it's one thing to be able to just be comfortable to talk to people you don't know, but like above all else, I think find your people who sound like you. First of all, find people who are adjacent to you. Find people who you like. Be fans of other people's music, because if you're just all about you and nobody else, you're not going to get anywhere because you're just being selfish.
Yeah.
Secondly, find, not only after you make those friends, find like the scene of which all of them exist, and then find a way to integrate. Because honestly, we spent a good portion of, wow, that's a big difference. We spent a large portion of like our first few months gigging where we were doing whatever the fuck because we didn't know anybody. We literally played at this bar on Easter Sunday. like for fucking nobody because we wanted to, and we were like, fuck it, it's a show. And like a few months later, we ended up finding Chemical Victim. Chemical Victim had openings on this like festival that
they have crazy shows.
Fucking insane. And like that was our first exposure to what ended up being all of our friends in the scene that we're in, because they had established something that was adjacent to us that we could fit in with, and then we made friends, and next thing you know, we played for Chemical Victim 6 or 7 times after that.
Yeah.
Like just in the year of 2022.
Yeah.
Like because of like what we found, and we got really lucky. That was a really lucky thing, and like that is an unfortunate, you know, with anything that is like this is gonna happen. It's luck. It's just somebody saw you play one day, you met the right person the right day.
Yeah.
I mean, that happened with like going back to my whole thing about being able to talk. Like that happened to get us our San Jose and Fresno shows for this tour.
Oh, cool.
We all went to Oakland drunk as shit to see Jive Bomb.
Oh my god, yeah.
To see Jive Bomb, this hardcore band from Baltimore, at Stay Gold.
Cool.
Malachi from Scowl, the guitarist of Scowl, was running the door.
That's the coolest name I've ever heard.
Malachi?
Yeah, what the hell? That's so sick.
He was running the door, and I just started talking with him, and we ended up talking through the whole Jive Bomb set. I paid my money to see Jive Bomb, and I didn't see Jive Bomb because I was busy talking to him the whole time.
Though.
And after making that connection, he was able to get us the shows that we ended up playing on this tour.
Wow, that's so sick.
Like, meeting the right people at the right time, and just knowing like, and then I guess the last part too is just kind of like believing in the craft.
Yeah.
You kind of need the self-confidence to be like, yeah, no, we're a good fucking band.
I think it's an exercise too, and like you gotta do a bunch of shit that sucks. I think you gotta play a bunch of empty rooms. You gotta like go to a bunch of shows that you don't really want to go to. You gotta be a cool person. You gotta be like social and like talk to people and like make those connections. And it's like, I think the best way you can go about it is just being a friend. Just make friends.
Exactly. And like that stuff that like you were talking about like, so you're gonna play an empty room. Yeah, there's not gonna, some days there's just gonna be not a lot of people. You can say, you can position us in a way where it's like, you could say we're a successful underground band, but like that shit still happens.
Of course, yeah.
And that's, you know, it's all about the attitude. It's like, all right, fuck it. We're going to play. We're going to have fucking fun. We're going to do it. We're going to do this again how many more times, and just have the same mentality about it as much as we can. Just fucking rip our shit and have fun. Do what we can do to make sure we're enjoying ourselves. Because at the end of the day, it's fun.
That's literally the only thing that matters at the end of the day.
And that's why like talking about like giving advice to people to be successful. It's like, yeah, I'll give you what I can, but like I can't. I don't want to tell anybody anything other than the most important part is having fun.
Yeah.
Because like at that point, what are you doing it for? What are you doing it for? If you're like you can strive for the success. That's not a problem. It's not a problem to have dreams that you want to achieve. What would like having that be more important over your own personal enjoyment is just not what it's about.
Yeah.
So I think, as much as I want to give a lot of kids advice and be like, hey, like, you could do this, and this to make sure you can get these shows and like find more people who can play with you or get you more shows.
Just have fun.
Just make sure you're fucking doing this for yourself.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's like if you're not doing it that way, what's the difference between like if you're not actively making an effort to enjoy what you are doing, what is the difference between playing music and working a desk job that you hate?
Yeah.
Exactly.
For real.
Exactly.
Like there's no those two things are like on par at that point. If like first your priority is not like how do I make this as fun for me personally as possible and fulfilling.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Yeah. Do you guys remember like the very first, so you were talking about playing at X Bar. Was that the very, very first show you played? Like what was it like? Like were you nervous before going on stage? Like how did you get from that point to where you are now in terms of your live presence, and what do you think you've improved upon the most?
I don't know. I mean,
I'm gonna say a lot, so I'll go last.
Yeah.
Well, I am too. I'll be very honest for a second. There was a period of time this year where I got caught up in more of the success than the fun, for the sole fact that, you know, I knew we were going on tour. I run a lot more of the like finances and the business side, and I just got so stressed. Not that I needed to, and it just kind of overtook even playing shows. And when I'm not having fun, they see that. They don't have fun.
Yeah.
They're not having fun. The crowd sees that. They're not having fun. So that is genuinely the most important thing. So I think going from having fun the first year to then just being super stressed for like 3 months.
Yeah.
And then coming out of that,
Wow.
we had a band talk. Coming out of that to now, I'm actually like, I think I'm having the most fun right now that I have had
That's so awesome.
the band probably in our like entire run.
Uh-huh.
Like this tour so far, as tired as I am, it's been incredible. So I think it's just really learning to not get caught up in some unnecessary bullshit. We're a punk band. We're a young band. Money does not matter. Like, backhand, they're sleeping in their vans some nights, you know?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, same.
But no, just learning to have fun, learning not to get caught up in all the bullshit. I think that's what I've improved on.
Yeah.
Um,
That's so sick. Wow. That's gotta be pretty inspiring, being on the road with a band that's like that willing to just do everything they can to play these shows.
They're
man.
the most fun guys I've ever met.
Yeah.
It's so goofy.
Yeah.
It's such a good time.
That's
Shout out to
beautiful.
Ben and Jake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Shout out to Ben and Jake for real.
Wow, you really took that in a different direction. I actually didn't think you were gonna take it there. Cause like, here, can you give me the question one more time just so I can parse my answer?
The essence of the question was like, what do you think you've improved upon most from that X-Bar show to that show in LA last night?
Oh wow, yeah, okay. Well, so I was really gonna make it about like just being better musicians.
Well, I took it as like the mentality of it.
Well, yeah, maybe that too, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like, yeah, I agree with you, but like, yeah, no, I just think we like, in also growing into our sound, I think we just grew into each being able to play with one another.
Yeah,
And that's,
for sure.
I think that's the biggest thing.
I
Like,
think we got a lot more confident.
yeah, we're a lot more. We're super comfortable playing with one another. Like, I did play with Ethan first, but like there was a very long time where I spent like kind of like trying to figure out how do I work well with them musically when we're playing, like specifically as musicians. And then like, I think really what unlocked it was actually meeting Maya. I think meeting Maya and playing with Maya, like, finally somebody that
Like the missing puzzle piece.
exactly,
Yeah.
like something to the cogwheel that like we were not spinning together.
Yeah.
And then like Maya was the thing that we needed to be like, all right, we
That's awesome.
can like roll as a machine now. And like, I think as time has gone on, we've just gotten really fucking good, like playing together as a unit. And I think
Yeah.
that's where I was gonna take the answer to this question. Like I was gonna be like, that's my often foil. I don't think I've like, if I'm playing drums, I don't really want to play with anybody else on the bass aside from them.
Yeah.
I'm the same way. I don't know. I feel
Rhythm
like we
section
click. We're in
gang.
the pocket, you know?
Like we communicate. Okay, because like when we play, you know, I'm wearing the mask,
Yeah.
so like I can't say anything that like, because the vocal is terrible.
Yeah.
And then it's also like, I can't mouth anything. 'cause,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
my
there's
mouth
no
is-
mouth.
Straight up just eye
So,
contact.
so it's just eye contact.
Or
but
reading
for
each other's
once,
minds.
For once,
Whoa.
like just any look, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
eyes, and we get it, and we know where we're at, and
That's
it's good.
the coolest
and then
thing ever.
After like we started really doing that, then Ethan was able to just shoot lasers,
Yeah.
and so it's like, yeah, no, that's what that's what I think about the growth that we've had over the past couple of years is like musically, like not just musically, but as musicians, we're I fucking love getting up there with you too, and just being like, let's get this shit going, dude.
That's
We're
so
about to play some hard shit.
Damn, that is like everything. Like that's beautiful.
Yeah.
What do you think, Maya?
Yeah, what
Like,
about you?
No, I'm exactly where you are with all of that. I feel like if we're talking mentality, I feel like I've kept the mentality of just having a good time. You know, we're doing it because the one thing that really brings us together, despite how different we are sometimes, is the fact that we love music. And so I try to just keep that in my heart. But yeah, genuinely
amazing.
musically, I feel like we've grown a lot. I when we first started playing, I'm not gonna lie, I was so scared of you. No, because I just never was in a band. I never really played with people. It was just me by myself in the garage, and so it took a while for me to be comfortable actually I don't know.
You scared of me specifically?
No, like both of you, just playing in a
Gosh.
room with other people
Okay.
where you guys were like actually paying attention to what I was doing. It's like I'm fucking up. I don't know. I feel like I'm better about not getting in my head about that now.
No, no.
That's beautiful.
We've never not valued your opinion.
This is how much we love Maya.
Yeah.
We cheated on our original basis.
That's true.
Oh yeah, we did. We did.
Who is
I'm
still
so
one of my best friends.
I'm so sorry,
You
Nico.
guys cheated on
Nico was okay with it though, to a certain extent. It was rough, but yeah, we did.
We had a
Shout out to Nico.
rehearsal.
Shout out Nico.
I love you, Nico.
Love you.
Shout out Nico, man.
Nico was in our band, and Jaden came to was like, I think I found us a bassist.
Oh,
It was rough.
And I was like, wait, what? And they were like, yeah, just come down to Monterey one day. I was like, okay. And we played with Maya, and it was one of the best jams we've ever had. And I was like,
Lord.
I walked out and I looked at Jaden and I was like, yeah, no, Maya needs to be our bassist.
I didn't even know that at the time. I didn't know you guys had Nico until you guys took me to Noodle Bar and you guys were like, so here's the deal. And I was like, oh no.
So then Nico just hopped on guitar for 2 months and
Yeah.
then mutually left the band.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was mutual.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, Nico is still one of my best friends.
Okay. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nico.
No,
Shout out Nico.
Yeah. Love you, Nico.
Hell yeah. Last thing I want to ask you guys.
Yep.
What are you most excited about right now? In life or music? Like, what are you most excited about in the next year?
There's a lot going on in this next year.
Let's go Maya around this time because we started with Ethan last
Oh
time.
God, I don't know.
I really put you on the spot there.
You did. I'm still thinking, man.
Think.
The thing about me is I try not to think about too far into the future and set like really grand expectations. I really like to be excited about like the next week.
That's awesome,
That's my
yeah.
thing. It helps, I don't know, ground me more. I don't get
Totally.
too scattered trying to think about stuff that I just can't foresee.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just really excited for tour. Just the rest of it. It's been such a good time. I know it's gonna
Hell
keep
yeah.
being a good time. That's where I'm at right now.
Sick. Hell yeah.
I'm also excited for the new shit we're doing, like the new songs that we have for people to see those.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Basically, like, this band, like, is kind of my life. Like, I don't have a lot to look forward to in like, the grand scale of life, aside from, like, what I do with my art.
Yeah.
So, like Maya said, I also just can't think further than, like, next week. gotta take it as...
There's probably some good stuff that comes
Yeah,
with that.
like,
It's better for
yeah.
anxiety to not think
Yeah.
too far in the future.
No, seriously. Like I'm very much like I do my hardest to live in the moment, but like, yeah, I'm really excited for the music that we have coming soon. I'm really excited to get working on that. I'm kind of, if I were to do like a big large scale thing though, I think what I'm most excited for is just to be doing the band. Like,
That's awesome.
to think about where we got from March of 2022 to March of 2023. Who the fuck knows what's going to be happening
Yeah,
in March of
dude.
2024? Like, we got a lot of cool stuff that we like hope to be doing, and that's still cool stuff that we know we're going to be doing. So
Hell yeah.
I'm just excited for music.
Amazing. I love that.
I'm pretty much the same. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm so excited for our Salt Lake show.
That'll be sick.
Yeah.
Kilby.
It'll be...
You guys are playing Kilby Court?
Yeah.
Wow. That's congrats.
Yeah.
That's historic. That's so
Backhand.
cool.
Shout out to Backhand.
And then when we get back, I can say what we're recording, right?
What?
I can say what like, we're.
I don't care,
okay,
dude.
Yeah, no, we're gonna start working on our second album finally.
Oh,
That
congrats.
we've been
Awesome.
writing for like close to a year and a half.
If you've seen us play live
hyped.
in the past like 6 months,
You've seen most
actually,
of it.
if you've
Yeah.
seen us play in the past like year and a
Yeah.
half, you've seen us play some of the songs that are going to be on that album.
Yeah.
But no, we have not. We've like written a shit ton of stuff and brought it out live, and
Yeah.
haven't recorded any of it.
So we all agreed we're like, okay, after tour,
But you tested it. You did testing grounds, you know?
People
Yeah.
love that
Yeah.
shit.
we're like, all right, we need to record this.
Yeah.
We have our album art and we haven't even recorded anything.
We know how it goes though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, with the band, it's just the same. I'm just excited to keep doing what we're doing and riding this wave that we're on.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So
Hell yeah. Y'all are incredible. Thank you so much. That was
Thanks
so
for
fun.
having
Thank
us.
you
This was a
for
good time.
having us
This is
here.
an amazing conversation.
I'm very warm right now.
Yeah.
but,
Me too.
I was
Very
sweating.
cozy.
That was a very cool conversation. This was a
Yeah.
really cool experience.
That was
Thank
a
you
lot
for
of
having
fun.
us.
Of course.
Thank you, Dante.
I appreciate
Thank you,
guys.
Mario, for inviting us.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Mario.
Thank you, Mario.
Shout out to Kev from Ultra Q for introducing us.
Shout out to Kev. I love that guy so much. Tell them where they can stream you, where they can follow you, where they can do all things gosh.
Yeah. Find us on Instagram at Gosh the Band. You can find us on all your streaming services under Gosh in all caps. www.goshtheband.bandcamp.com if you want to support us directly. We are at the end of this tour. Whatever we have left, merch-wise, will go up there. So if you want to shoot us like a coffee or something, you can buy some stickers probably. I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
Can we end it on a Muscle Man impression?
Can we?
What do you want me to say?
Say,
This is Muscle Man from Gosh the Band. Please listen to Gosh before I don't know, bro. What?
all right, that's good. Music matters.